All right, now we're going to jump ahead just a little bit. We're going to pretend we've already gone to a database, we found a source, and now we're trying to evaluate if this source fits our topic, if it's going to be a good one for this project. How can we gauge if this source is relevant, if it's credible? So, whenever you encounter a source, whether it be through a database or in the wild, there are some questions that you can ask yourself. Number one, you can think about the source's purpose. Why does this source exist in the world? What is it trying to say and who made it? So, did a scholar create this source because they made a new discovery and they want to share it? Did a teacher create this source as a resource for their elementary school students to use? Did my brother get super interested in this particular video game and do some research on the background of it? These can all the reason behind the source can be something that lends you a hint of like how credible it's going to be or how relevant it might be to your topic. Similarly, with what is it trying to say and who made it, these questions can help you think about any biases that might be behind the creation of the source. The process. So, how was the source created from the idea to the published result? And what kind of quality control process did it go through? Is this a blog post? Did someone just go to the internet and post it? Is it a newspaper article? Was it looked over by an editor for like grammar mistakes? Or is it a scholarly peer reviewed article? Was it looked over by a panel of scholars in the field to make sure that the information was credible? And then finally, product. What form does the final product take, and what elements do we notice about it? These are going to be things that help you gauge how useful the source is going to be for your particular project. All right, we're going to get a little bit more specific. So I've got this source in front of me. How do I gauge if it is credible, if it's useful? So the first thing you're going to want to do is read the abstract. What is this article about? This is going to give you a brief summary so that you don't have to dive into the whole article right away. But from the abstract, you can gauge, does this article sound useful to my topic? Is it relevant? And also, do I think I'll be able to understand this article? Can I read the abstract and explain it back to myself? Then you're going to want to check the article. Sorry, not the article, check the author or the place where the article was published. So you can search based on the author name. You can do a Google search on the journal where it's published and look and see, is it a credible author? Is it a credible source? Who funded the research? Are there any conflicts of interest there? A study looking at, excuse me, a study looking at the impact of smoking cigarettes on cancer, there might be a conflict of interest there if it was funded by a cigarette company. It may not give us the information that we're looking for. It may not be the most credible. You can also check and see, what do other researchers think of this finding? You can look and see if the article you're looking at has been cited by other research. Do they seem to agree with what the article is saying? Do they disagree? And then finally, you can check the date of the source that you're looking at. Is this article recent, or is it a little bit older and might the information in it be outdated? An article from 2009 looking at technology use in schools is going to be so completely different than an article written today. So be sure to check the date. If it is on the older side, you may want to find something a little bit more current. And this is going to be a very common question for the social sciences and the natural sciences. Um, for the humanities, there's a little more wiggle room. Sometimes we're looking at like short stories written a long time ago, but for more current topics in the humanities, it can still be applicable.